guys aren't just moving to the positions, they're dashing to them. Because the shooting fight had broken out almost at instant, I was lying shouting, 300, 300, 300, wounded. Finally, we had not killed him. We decided to use him as living bait. From the start it was interesting. These were obviously not Wagner's men operating, because the leading man had a night vision device, and then followed groups of 5, 8, and then 10 fighters. My Kalish was rather battered. It had already seen a few battles, and its receiver could have fallen off at the underbarrel shot. We shoot simply to suppress our PG. I took the lead because, for one thing, that way I could better throw grenades there, and push those away immediately and destroy them. There was probably only one night when they seemingly ran out of people. At the end of January 2023, Russian troops and PMC Wagner Group are trying to cut off the Kostyantynivka Bakhmut motorway. The enemy is pushing hard along the Siverskyi Donets Donbas channel. The fighters of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade render rotation and enter the Suma position, where the continuous enemy attacks are going on for 4 days. Later on, a video fight with Wagners will appear on the YouTube channel, where the frames of those events will be documented. Today me and you will communicate with fighters. We will watch this video again, but now with comments of our friend Nom, who with his brothers in arms repelled attacks of the Russians in those infernal days. So greetings, my friend Nom. Greetings. Tell us a few words of yourself. How did you get into the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade? Well, I got into the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade at the beginning of its composition. Before that I was in the Azov Special Forces, and also in the Territorial Defense on base of Azov. That is, I am in it almost since its beginning. I came to the formation base somewhere in the beginning of March. Because of my family affairs, I had to leave my girl with her parents. Once her parents arrived, I departed to join my brothers in arms, so to say. Tell us briefly about your battle history. This was Zaporozhye region, was not it? Right? I was not lucky enough to join the Kiev campaign. My track of war started in the Zaporozhye region, and then, well, I went it entirely all along with my battle unit. That is, I took part in all the battle trips, did not miss any. How did your fellows meet the information that you are deployed to Bakhmut? The most of them were just happy, because our unit is mainly made up of volunteers, and the people did not go there to stay in the rear. The people came to fight, to defend their homeland. Many of them have things to fight for, and Bakhmut is the hottest spot now. And I can't say that everyone, but most of them, the vast majority, were for it. They were for the deployment to Bakhmut. You are on the rehabilitation now. Yes, you've got wounded. Yes, it turned out so. In the course of one of assaults, me and my mates who were on the positions have got under. The enemy could not defeat us in the shooting fight, and subjected us to artillery fire. At first it was a light artillery, but they could not do anything to us, because we did well, and they decided to charge us with barrel artillery. They could not destroy our positions, so they simply were borrowing them. The shells had fused delayers. Such shell buries into the ground and then explodes, thus covering personnel with soil. And the soil there, when frozen, is as hard as shrapnel, and I got wounded by its upper layer, because my legs got buried under one of these frozen soil boulders. It hit my legs, and I had decided they are torn off. Well, it was painful bit, but that's okay. I believe the rehabilitation will be over soon, and we will be back. The video we are about to talk of with you. Give us a little of your prehistory of that Suma position. I have told already that Russians attempted to cut off the Kostyantynivka Bakhmut motorway. What information had been given to you as of why the enemy had to be stopped there? In general, we did not need this information to be given at all. We were told that we have to enter these positions, and we realized that these positions were of the most importance. for our boys in Bakhmut to receive supplies.
В Бахмуті отримували забезпечення, які
Such as delivery of munitions, food and water, evacuation of wounded, arrival of new fighters, new units.
завіз нових людей.
Well, none of our men needed explanations.
Нікому з наших людей не
All of us clearly saw it, and all of us went to the battle knowing that we shall withstand to the end. Miron explained that the position was rather disadvantageous because it was on the hill and right. Yes, and when I arrived on the Sumy location, the first thing we did was to relocate the machine gun nests to other spots. Because the position was such that 4 stations strip Cherkasy ended right next to our blindage.
Сама посадка Черкаси впирається в наш бліндаж.
And there was another forest line to our right. So we were on the crossover. We had 2 4-station lines ending next to us instead of 1. And what was the worst, the first forest strip on our 12 o'clock was only 400 meters long. And then there was a hump leading to channel, like a 5-story building, so one could place any firing nests there. And was it occupied by enemy? Yes, it was under the enemy, because they pressed on and ours kept retreating. As I see it, the 3rd Brigade had retreated then, and the water channel goes on the elevation, anyhow. Next to me was Datsyk's position, the 2nd platoon, and Noms won the 1st platoon. And they were saddling the channel and beating the shit out of dickheads. That hillock from where and self-propelled gun grenade launcher worked. At first it was only setting up its firing, but when it had done the adjustment, it surely brought us a lot of nuisance. I mean, with its targeted firing when he made up his aiming properly. It decomposed our position steadily. My friend, let's look at the video right. What's going on here? It's our fellows moving into positions. Yes, the guys aren't just moving to the positions, they're dashing to them. Because the shooting fight had broken out almost at instant. These positions were under unceasing attacks, and to enter these positions patiently was... It was a matter of big luck to enter them easily. That is, quickly. Jump instantly to the trench line, and there's a large caliber machine gun on the pickup. That is rendering a cover up right. The trench line is deep enough, right? Yeah, it's deep enough, and it is rather long. And it has a good feature, a side passage. There's a side pass where our guys entered, so that position itself is a bit distant. And the entrance is, you don't come right into it. You'll have to go through the trenches. So this is exactly the Sumy position. And further on to the right is the Cherkasy position in the 4-station line. Yes, it is perpendicular to the Sumy, roughly speaking. Tell me, please, how did the enemy attack here? There's another trench line along Cherkasy position, and the dickheads approached by that trench line. Sometimes they attempted to close in through Cherkasy itself, but they had a bit of failure because of our machine gunner. Did they go through forest line? Yes, one of them tried to crawl through to bypass us. Machine gunner had laid him down, and he was lying shouting there, 300, 300, 300, wounded. Finally, we had not killed him. We decided to use him as living bait, and he ended up fertilizing our soil. That is fertile even without it. In addition, we were covered by 4th platoon, our heavy weapon unit, and their position was on the hump. And it kept preventing. There were 2 forest strips, enemies advanced via them, and ours could control that forest line, especially at night, with thermal emitters. But we set up our machine gun nests in such a way that forest line at our 12 o'clock was shielded by breastwork from this side. And that was very bad, because when you approached from this side, you only could pass this way. They did not know that we installed machine guns there, because we did not only install them, but dug out and prepared a couple of positions that they did not expect there. During their first abrupt storms, they were appearing from behind the breastwork right at our machine gun spots, and our Barbasik was readily toppling them nicely there. He's our machine gunner, of the youngsters, by the way. Laid a lot of them. They just did not expect us to set up such firing positions there. Those positions were well made. They could not harm us with any small arms. They did not take us. There were 12. 8 of us, and they did not take us. Generally, the dickheads assaulted via trench line. They used to close in almost head-on, because it is rather problematic for us to shoot into trenches, so the fightings used to begin at distance of a grenade toss. I mean, they crawled up to 15 meters, 10, 20. That position was unfavorable yet because they could close in from Cherkasy side at our 12 o'clock. And as well they attacked from 3 o'clock, so we had to defend 2 flanks. So you had to keep in 180 degrees defense. There, yes, they creep back and forth. And they can creep indeed. They are helluva patient. Yet they've got no choice. They are told to go and storm, and that's all. They've got to lie on that ground. They've got to freeze to it, but they've got to be killed here or back there. But here they have a chance to be captured, and thus survive. If they surrender, and if they do not succeed, they will be killed by theirs. Will be cancelled out. Well, here a small arms fighting is conducted. Yes. Now our fellows are trying to take over the trench line that runs along Cherkasy position. They run over in turn, enter the trench, and will be holding out Cherkasy. One shall understand that trench line is a gray zone. Yes, it is gray. Our guys had moved along it a little, but that position proved to be inconvenient to hold. That is, finally we set a foothold at Sumi position. We finished digging what we had to dig. We established firing nests and alternative nests, so the holding of these positions was necessary to reinforce other positions, right? All positions are interconnected here because they belong to the one body, these positions, roughly speaking. One line of defense. Yes, a line of defense. If one of the trench lines falls, then problems arise on the next line. That's why we had to cling in and hold out each position. And when we were in, one of us kept a defense while others were digging. Because all of us know that these days artillery grinds off positions very well, alas. The deeper and the better your fortifications are done, so to say, the longer you may sustain to render defense. Come on, I cover. Here, the boys are moving under cover, one by one, to the trench line at Cherkasy. What I see here is a lot of mud, right? The mud was simply awful. 3 kilos of soil stuck on each boot. They were just a mud with laces. It's a caponier, isn't it? Yes, it's an exit of the trenches. I see the guys have at force here, right? Yes, were there armored machines or not? Whether they tried to attack. There was an infantry. They were pressing on, worked to exhaust us here, so to say. A human resource. Yes. They have truckloads of that resource, pardon me. And that's exactly what was proved. We'd laid so many of them that we could load trucks, and they just throw them in waves, only to exhaust our people. I mean, to deplete our munitions. We value our people, because our people are our people. And for them, people are expendable. Each of our fighters is worth 5 of theirs, because what they gathered in prisons is scum that nobody needs, and they throw it as meat. Well, our guys told us that first attacks were undertaken by Wagner elite. The interesting thing is that those operating in the beginning were not Wagnerites, because the leading man had a night vision device, and then follow groups of 5, 8, and then 10 fighters.
По 5, потім по 8, по 10 чоловік.
They made 2 attempts.
Попробували,
We annihilated them,
ми їх
and after that they began meat attacks. They were simply letting the meat out. I say there was 15 meters between us. We throw grenades at each other. Sometimes they climbed out. Good that we had enough grenades. And all that was done had meat, 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 and meat. 20 men come from that 4 station, 10 from this, and it goes on and on round the clock. If damn it begins at 2 o'clock a.m., for example, then it stops at 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours break.
Там же ж на цьому.
There was a moment when they asked us for a break, because we never even give them the one, because there had arrived lots of them in the same caponiers, and they had no ways to retreat. They asked for a coffee break, but we did not let them, of course. They tried to storm in the beginning, but achieved nothing, because our guards were well set up. So they were discovered at early stages of their advance. We let them come closer and forced them into a fight, but their elite does not rush in headlong like that. They've made a probe, did not succeed, and stepped back. They play it smart. Yes, those are adept dude, too. One should not say they all attack like me. There are mature people who passed more than one war, I think, and who are at war for a few years, but they rarely get here. They appear when the meat have done its job. That's when they may close in. But in general, they were throwing that meat, that scum. Oh, I see all guys are in good mood. All are smiling. Yet no one's spirits droop. Voice all that I have in my hands. I have unclear. I see. Is this an enemy mortar shooting? Yes. Something shoots all the time. A mortar RPG charges were coming from the forest. What temperature was there at night? Just when we entered the position, it was cold enough in the night. Frankly, none could say we were able to nap. Besides the fatigue from the permanent fighting and permanent attacks themselves, one can't fall asleep because of the constant cold. We can see a soldier cleaning his rifle. Assault rifles were cleaned all the time as because of mud, and also as rifles sometimes got jammed of the vast amount of shot rounds. And in order to conduct the non-stop fighting, we made it clever wait. We shared the duties. One group of us was shooting while another recharged rifles. If we look at 2 people, one of them shoots, another charges munitions, and hands out to them. If the former gets his rifle jammed, then the latter opens fire from the relatively clean rifle, while the former cleans up his assault rifle, brings it in order, and so on. Very seldom we had to shoot all together. It happened when the enemy waged a massive attack, and we needed simply a fire squall. Then only all of us were shooting. Other than that, we played it smart. In the beginning of the active fighting, our BMP drivers were at their best. They flew right into the positions. They delivered everything we needed and took back everything we wanted. Our driver mechanics are brave boys. But why taking risks when we can play it smart? This is a line of trenches. Yes, this is a trench line that runs along Cherkasy. That was a ricochet from the ground. Whistle by. Do you believe that the adversary saw your movements and attempted to stop your advance, or was it a random shelling? They had an advantage. They were on the elevation. And they could see everything from the height. And the enemy has the very same drones, the same wings, and they can easily look down with them. In general, troops' rotation time is a very convenient moment to operate. Because a squad is the least protected during a rotation. In general, I know about the Wagnerites' tactics. They always attempt to hit either in the joint between units or the units at rotation. Yes. When your attention is the least concentrated at the battlefield, the situation is the most favorable for them. In the process of replacement, this one is instructing another, and that one lays down the position to another. And there is no such a concentrated attention as when the soldiers are stationary on their places, and the joint between the units is really. There is a joint between the units, and here is responsibility of one brigade, and here is of another one. And this connection is exactly the place where arguments happen, because the former thinks that the latter is responsible, and the latter thinks the same of the former, and this problem shall be kept in mind and addressed, because in the future it may lead to some unpleasant situations, like encirclement and something else. Right? So we see that the fighting is going on. The guys are advancing along the line of trenches. A drone. Any storm is a gamble without a drone. Well, the drone tells us whether the path is safe. That is, we know at what distance the enemy can be, and how we shall move in general. The voice is so what? Liber, shall I fire? Maybe. Better leave it for brighter times. There. Clever decision. What shall be better left for brighter times? The grenade launcher. Ah, the grenade launcher. Well, voice got grenades. It is okay to toss a hand grenade there. These guys are already walking on parapet, right? Yes, this is namely our group, this is us walking. Tell me, please, how do you? I understand that Miron made that decision, that you shall make a raid to the enemy. Frankly, we were so fed up with the enemy by that moment. Our fellows have spent 4 days, 4 days and nights without sleep. They have been fighting. Those were pressing on them, attacked, and we've decided that enough is enough. I can recall only one evening when they did not disturb us. All the other times the attacks were on and on and on. They were storming us round the clock. Then we had enough of it, and thus there's that video. I summoned guys Datsik and Nom, and deceased Kolchak, a good man. They often waged raids, that's why I summoned them. To beat some shit out of enemies, because they were the only attackers before, so we decided. And trophies. At every their attack we pile and pile the enemies, but later they take back the loot. And here, we plan to clean them. That's what a plan it was at the beginning. There is Yagoza fidget barbed wire in the trench that was thrown by enemy out of their trench line. Someone slipped out of the trench during the storm and forced shooting, while another tossed the Yagoza out of the trench. So we had to come to that Yagoza, or advance beyond it, depending on the situation. While we were approaching that Yagoza and cleaned the trench, it was unclear if someone isn't sitting in there. We also had to check the trench for explosive devices. So while we were dealing with all that, while we were storming, our sappers were mining the approaches to our position to protect ourselves, so to say. One should understand that mining of the terrain is in general a recipe for success, is a part of the defense strategy, right? Of course it is, of course. The directional mining plus a remote initiation is a win. When the enemy group comes on you, you can't kill them all, because you're under squall firing. You just can't look out. Then you see them coming into the explosion sector, and you may calmly activate an explosive device, so to say, and send them a few gifts. Them the deckheads. Is that a receiver fell off from a shot? Yes, the Kalashnikov has this problem. When Kalash is rather battered and have already seen a few battles, its receiver may fall off at the underbarrel shot. Yet, of course, a GP underbarrel launcher on the rifle is a win. On the other side, when you fire massively from GP, and that was my shot from GP, I could not shoot because tree branches obstructed me, and I could not render a directed fire. On the deckheads, so only my comrade on the left flank could fire. He was quite a good grenadier.
Класно получалось закидати.
So that's Miron in the front on the parapet. Yes, Miron leads our fellows. A fearless breed. We had to clean out the Vog in the trench. But I have decided.
Я вирішив
On the video, I move along this side behind breastworks for a better view. Because that trench is inconvenient, it is bended like this and has many offshoots, where they can hide. And so as not to expose my people, I took the lead because, for one thing, that way I could better throw grenades there, and push those away immediately and destroy them. And Dazik, with others, was cleaning out those who sat in small offshoots. And that's all. But that was very risky, because, as I said, the four-station line was rising at its end, and if there were proper machine gun nests, that would be bad. Moreover, when they've made an RPG punch at us from there, Bormann disclosed them, and at once pounded there in response. Two of us were moving on the left side of the parapet, other two on the right side on the parapet, and rest of us moved in the trench itself. So we were the first who had a direct contact with enemy, because the enemy saw us and we saw him and could warn the others. We could jump into the trench or lay down behind the breastwork. To protect yourself. Yes, to protect ourselves. But that, the most initial contact, is the most important. And the mutual cooperation of the soldiers. That means here you have to trust each other 100%. Yes, there's all 100%, even all the 110 of mutual trust. Voice Vogs, got the Vogs grenades. The first one moving in the trench is Datsik. He also shoots from GP underbarrel launcher. Voice is another side. Zuni Vog. Yes, wait. Miron, hold on. Get down, Miron. It's me working from this side. My comrade, who went ahead of me, is already wounded and have descended to the trench line. He's got a wound in the arm and left the fighting. A bullet wound. Yes, a bullet, but he was able to leave on himself. The fellows had put on a tourniquet on him, rendered him a first aid, and then, that was not a wound of the heavy ones, so he could wait for evacuation and departed together with others. That was his decision. Shout Miron is a fucking fast walker. What did he say? Miron is a fast walker. So Miron is pushing forward, and Miron is pushing forward as a tank. He is fed up with them bastards. Miron was holding off these battles, while we came to him later from the neighboring positions. But the essential. Shout I see RPG unclear. Here the RPG fired at us from here, from the forest strip, and we worked simply to suppress the RPG, because the RPG that works on the infantry may cause a big trouble. Yeah, this is quite a dangerous thing. Yet, cumulative is not that bad, but if a fragmentation charge flies in, then it can eliminate a whole group if the group is in a tight order. How far did you advance here? Well, we passed a good 50 to 70 meters away. That's significant. That's significant enough. Yes, and we kept on advancing. Here's Yagozo barbed wire, we reached it. And picked up all the pipes on our way. Voice, give me a Vog. Did you throw it far? Oh, nice Vog hit him. While comrades entered a trench line, I was already sitting on top of the parapet and watched if nobody approaches us. Because yet drone watch is good, of course. That's right. But somebody had to shoot at them. Voice guys, do not stay long at one place. Now you are setting up means of fortification. Yes, we are stretching the net. While guys gather assault rifles, The other mates are covering them with underbarrel grenade launchers.
Інші хлопці криють їх з підствольників.
That is, when there is no conditions for assault rifle shooting. Underbarrel always throws it in. Voices, I step aside. Is there anybody ahead of you? Yes. Is there? It's a planned withdrawal, right? It's a withdrawal. We did what was planned, reached them, and now retreating.
І відходимо.
These are those who did not make it. Good Russians. Good Russians. The best Russians. Those who are 200s killed. Yeah, he got in our way a little bit, but that's okay. Free it out. Voices, what to do? Covering. Those are, as my friend Datsyk used to say, musicians rest before concert. Before Kobzin's deceased Soviet singer concert. Yes. Voice, a fucking stenchy, he is bitchin'. They reeked always. And they reeked not as a corpse, but they simply reeked. Voice, sex, return. Sex, retreat. Do they wash themselves? I don't know, but even pigs don't stink like that. It's the first thing that... Voice, come on, I cover you. It can't be conveyed. Yet, I am not a squeamish man, but... Would you glue on GP, brother? Well, these are trophies, right? Yes, they pick up the trophies a little bit. And here's a planned withdrawal. Voice leaving the... Moving back slowly. Our sappers had worked already. This interesting model has a sound moderator, right? Yes. In general, does it help somehow in fightings? Every tool on the rifle is for certain situation. For battle particularity, let's put it this way. As of the sound moderator, it will be good for urban operations because one will not hear where you shoot from. That is sound moderator, flame suppressor. Voices, you're the last. Copy. Voice is unclear, I'll check it. Nope. Dabbed. Yes. Returning. Those fuckers Vogs don't even shoot from our underbarrels. Those are trophies. Voice, sex, return. And while our boys withdraw, we cover them. We have taken positions and our machine gunners keep whacking, because this comrade is also shooting on his retreat. Voices cover me. I cover. And by standard rushes we'd withdrawn to our guys who... Here we were in a relative safety from their infantry, because there were machine gun nests and our machine gunners covered us. The guys were on adrenaline, right? They've got an adrenaline from such a... It can't be conveyed. You'll never get this in a civilian life, an adrenaline that is got there. Everyone's happy. Voice is damn good, I made it with GP. I did not expect it. Well, I say good job of GP. Who is this boasting? It's a Borman friend. A Borman friend, right? He's damn good with GP25, he's doing simply all right. He belongs to it. Yet, I can't say that he has a mad shooting experience, no. But he works with it simply awfully. Yeah, he's saying he made a headshot. At our first contact, when they first seen us, a dude simply pops up, and me with my comrade who's seen being bandaged here. We had contact and my friend started bursting fire. He was ahead of me. I step aside to adjust my firing sector. We start firing bursts at him. And others also see him and begin firing at Dickhead. And then Borman's shot looks like the dude got a direct hit in the helmet, because the charge exploded exactly where his head was. He simply did not manage to duck him. Our shooting was so much simultaneous and concentrated in one spot that it was really... If he's got a shot in head, then it's serious. Yes, that's interesting. Here is a first aid being conducted. Here our medics are rendering the first aid. Voice, step back now, go away, fuck. Here the medic kicked the crap out of everyone. And everyone started reloading weapons, loading empty magazines. Yes, it has to be clear that fighting is not over even so far. Yes, right. The fucker's favorite tactic is this: we wage a storm, then we withdraw. And the dickheads wage a counter-storm. They send out a group for counter-attack. Everybody admires their fragrance. Perfume red Moscow. Laughter. Nice video. As I understand, such an intensity of battles was permanent. Permanent. It was very seldom, maybe it was just one night, when they seemingly ran out of people, or they concocted some bullshit. All of us were so much strained waiting for them, but they did not come. Miron even came out shouting at them, "Where are you suckers? My guys came to make a war. Where are you? Why you don't show up?" And so on, and many other obscene words that we can't reproduce now. As far as I understand, when the enemy began shelling this position with targeted artillery, you had to abandon it and retreat a little. We were to retreat a little, but our guys had chosen not to do it because everyone understood why we stand there. And we standed there till the situation was such that it was impossible to hold on. When the artillery had targeted, artillery solved the case. The infantry did not solve it. The close quarters did not solve it. Only artillery solved the case. At this given position, and self-propelled guns, -9 guns, solved the case. It was working from some covert position. We were looking for it, flew the drones, but the Kostyantynivka Bakhmut motorway, it is under the Ukrainian armed forces' control. And that proves that you and your brothers in arms have completed your task and saved the road of life to Bakhmut. Not only we, but other units as well. Yes, the other units as well. The other units. We work as a whole organism. The entire armed forces are a whole organism that capably does its job. My friend, I wish you a fast recovery and return to your brothers in arms, and a fastest victory. Thank you.
Дякую.